at Celtic. So Brendan Rodgers, 2 weeks ago, if we had said Brendan Rodgers is back at Celtic, you would have said, well, what would you have thought then? But he is, and he's back on a 3-year deal.
I don't agree with the amount of Celtic supporters that call him a fraud. I think he's a first-class manager. And the thing that I always remember when Brendan Rodgers came in the last time around, Paul, I remember speaking to people behind the scenes at Celtic, and to a man, every one of them said the level of professionalism at the club, at the training ground, was sky high, something they'd never seen before. So I think he brings that. I think he brings a style of play that is pleasing on the eye. I think Celtic fans have already had that in the last couple of years, maybe even more so under Ange Postecoglou. So my view would be that Brendan would be smart enough, clever enough to work with the players that he already has. I think he obviously wants to try and make an impact in Europe, and I think that's a very realistic and a very reasonable goal to have, for Celtic to be better in Europe. That would really take them on to the next stage, I think.
So Dermot Desmond looked to be determined to get him. That's what it looked like, didn't it? And Michael Nicholson going over there, flying out to Mallorca 10 days ago, and they've got their man. They say the pot for money, transfer money, what, Andy, 35 million pounds? What do you think of that? Sounds a huge sum of money for us.
I mean, I've seen clubs, for example, Paris Saint-Germain, they've spent more than 100 million time and time again to do it in the Champions League, and they don't. They consistently fail. It is so difficult for a Scottish club to make their mark in not so much to make their mark in Europe, but it's so difficult to make your mark in the Champions League. And I know that there are one or two examples of Celtic, a club of Celtic's turnover doing very well, but I think it's more realistic to expect Celtic to possibly get into the Europa League and start winning two-legged affairs. If they're ever in the Conference League, they can win two-legged affairs. But Celtic are going to be what, fourth seeds, fourth pot, and it's going to be really difficult to try and punch above your weight already to get into third, so that you can drop into the Europa League. So it's really tough, and but I think it's a very worthwhile, realistic, reasonable ambition to have, to do a lot better in Europe than in recent seasons.